Hey DreamChasers, it's Jacey, and I'm excited because on Friday, singer Sam Smith announced that they're using they/them pronouns now. They came out as non-binary earlier this year, but hadn't changed pronouns at the time. I also use they/them pronouns and came out as non-binary a little over a year ago. I'm so much happier and more comfortable with myself than I've ever been. Realizing that I'm non-binary made so many things in my life just sort of click into place. In a lot of ways, it felt like the true beginning of my life. I'm really happy for Sam to be able to experience that too. I'm also excited about what it means for other non-binary people that someone so famous is out and using they/them pronouns. When I first came out, some people in my life said they never heard of non-binary genders and they didn't think it was real. But in that time, several major celebrities came out as non-binary, including Sam Smith, Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye, and creator of Steven Universe, Rebecca Sugar. In fact, there are tons of non-binary celebrities, but not very many who use gender-neutral pronouns, so a lot of people don't really notice or pay attention. So with Sam's announcement, I think people are going to become more aware that we exist. There have also been some major strides for non-binary people, including several states adding a non-binary gender marker to driver's licenses and state IDs. So now, instead of choosing M or F, you can choose X. Also this year, United Airlines became the first airline to add a non-binary gender option for passengers booking flights. So if you've never heard of non-binary people before, expect to keep hearing about us. We exist, and we have in fact existed for all of human history. But if you're not really that familiar with non-binary people or using they/them pronouns, and you wanted to learn more after Sam's announcement, hopefully this video will help. I'm going to do my best to offer some insight into what it means to be non-binary and give you some advice on how to use they/them pronouns. And by the way, if you're here to just make tired "I identify as a attack helicopter" jokes, please get some new material. And to the people who claim that it's basic biology that there are only two genders, I know you're basic, but it's time to advance past 8th grade science. Okay, so what does non-binary mean? A non-binary person is someone who doesn't fall into a binary definition of gender. Binary meaning two, and the two in this case being a man and a woman. Non-binary is a blanket term for any gender that doesn't fit neatly into those two categories. And by the way, transgender is also a blanket term that means anyone whose gender doesn't align with the one that they were assigned at birth. By that definition, many non-binary people also consider themselves transgender since they weren't assigned non-binary at birth. I think one of the major misconceptions about non-binary people is that they're stuck halfway between being a man and a woman. Some people may feel that way and consider themselves androgynous, but non-binary is an umbrella term that covers people who are agender, meaning that they don't really feel like they have a gender at all, or people who are gender fluid, who sometimes move between feeling more feminine or masculine. There are so many ways someone who's non-binary can feel, just like there are so many ways individual men can feel about what it means to be a man. I don't know exactly how Sam feels or what their connection to their gender feels like, and I wouldn't want to presume. From my experience, I do think that they need time and freedom to sort that out for themselves. Another misconception I want to point out is the idea that being non-binary is just a new fad for teenagers. Sam Smith is 27, I'm 35, and Ash Hardell put together a video featuring non-binary people from ages 30 to, I think, 80? It's a really cool video if you want to check it out. There's a link in the description. There are a lot of other misconceptions about non-binary people, but there's a really helpful thread on Twitter from Sasha, aka @ConfusedOphan, that I'm going to link to in the description. Alright, so let's talk about they/them pronouns. One way you can show your support is to respect someone's pronouns. Respecting their pronouns and listening to how they want to be treated can go a long way in helping a trans person's mental health and well-being. As I mentioned earlier, some non-binary people don't use gender-neutral pronouns, but use he or she. This is really a matter of comfort for that individual. Some people don't feel dysphoric when someone uses she or he pronouns, and some people do. Humans have such strong associations emotionally and intellectually with words like he or she, so some non-binary people feel that those words aren't really a good fit and might choose they instead. And while they/them seem to be the most common gender-neutral pronouns, some people also use pronouns like zir or am, but for now, since we're talking about Sam, let's just worry about they/them. So how do you use singular they in a sentence? Here's an example. Sam Smith is a singer, and they have 4 Grammys, because they're a fucking boss. A lot of people argue against using they pronouns for one person because they're used to it being a plural. Some people will also insist that the grammar is incorrect, but it's actually recognized by Merriam-Webster and Dictionary.com, and its usage can be tracked back to the late 1300s. I'm going to drop some more resources in the description. Shout out to HologramVin on Twitter, who put together a really thorough thread. Okay, so knowing the grammar is correct is one thing, but actually putting it to use is another. A lot of people say that using they makes them feel like they're talking about more than one person. But the thing to remember is we use singular they all the time. Here's an example. I was at the drive-thru and the person in front of me paid for my coffee. That was so nice of them. You didn't know the person's gender, so you didn't say that was nice of him or nice of her. You didn't pick a binary pronoun. Their gender was hypothetical. I like to joke with people that that's how they should think of me, that my gender is hypothetical. I've also had people tell me that they feel it's rude to say they because that's how you usually refer to a person you don't know, but I assure you that if I'm asking you to say it, it's not rude. Sometimes people get a little confused and think you're supposed to say they is and complain that it sounds unnatural, and I agree, just stick to they are like you would for you are when you're talking to one person. Which reminds me, that's another thing I've seen people get confused about. You only have to use they when you're talking about someone in the third person, not when you're talking directly to them. You still say you in that case. A quick note, I've read this script to a few people and they legit didn't think that was a real thing that happens, but it totally is. I've seen a lot of anecdotes from non-binary people saying that someone was using they, speaking directly to them, and that's not necessary at all, but apparently it's a thing that people do. Alright, so let's talk about how to practice using they, them pronouns. It's gonna take some time to get used to using new pronouns for someone because habits are hard to shake. And something a lot of people don't realize is that even trans and non-binary people need to practice at first. So one thing I did for myself that I recommend others do is write a short story about the person in your head using their pronouns. Kind of like those assignments you have in French and Spanish class in high school where you say stuff like, "This is my friend, they are nice." But really focus on who they are as a human being without focusing too much on gendered language or how you thought of them before. So for Sam, that might sound something like this. Sam Smith is a singer and a songwriter. They were born in London. Their first album was called In the Lonely Hour. They are a super attractive human. You get the idea. Another thing you can do is talk about them to your pets. This is great, especially if you're worried that you're gonna make mistakes a lot. Your pets won't care. They're not gonna cancel you. This is actually what my spouse did to practice using they, them pronouns for me, is he just talked about me all the time to the cats and the dog, and it just got him used to saying it. And honestly, I don't think I've ever heard him make a mistake. This worked really well for him. And lastly, I think it really helps to write about someone using their pronouns, because you get a second to think about what you're saying and then edit it. It still might take some more practice to use the correct pronouns out loud, but typing it is a huge help. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful and that you gained some understanding about non-binary people and how to use they, them pronouns, and how to be supportive of Sam and other non-binary people. If you want to learn more, there are some resources in the description, and I also recommend checking out non-binary YouTubers like Celeste, Ash Hardell, and Luxander. They talk a lot about trans and non-binary issues, as well as their personal experiences, and they're all lovely human beings. Thank you so much for watching, and again, if you're gonna troll me, you gotta do better than attack helicopter jokes and 8th grade biology rants. Probably stay away from the Bible too, because I definitely don't care. Thanks, bye, chase your dreams! Quick shout out to my patrons, thank you all so much. If you would like to see your name in the credits, get early access to my videos, downloadable coloring pages, and extra art content, sneak peeks at comics and stuff I'm working on, please go to patreon.com/JaceyChase. Peace.